Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle this evening for tonight's reading. Like, share, comment, let me know how it resonates. If it does not, no problem. Don't try to make it fit. It doesn't have to. It's a general read. I'm just taking a measure, tapping into the energy to see what comes out this evening, okay? If you have not had an opportunity and you're passing by, make sure you subscribe, okay? So tonight we're just going to tap into the energy, taking a look past, present, future, any challenges and outcomes, and then overall energy. Let's jump in. So the overall energy is the Seven of Swords. So when I pulled this, I did pull out my cards ahead of time just for the sake of time because I don't want to be here 45 minutes. But it almost feels like, just tapping into the energy today, mind games is what I'm getting. Like someone is purposefully like holding back holding back their true emotions or their true desires, because they're trying to possibly strategize their way into something, or there's something that they desire, right? It's almost like someone sees something that they really like, but instead of being really honest and open and moving forward, and there's like a game face on, right? And it almost feels like purposefully holding back how you truly feel in order to mask this attempt. It almost feels like there's something else. There's a mask being shown, but underneath the mask, there's a whole different face, a whole different intention, right? Present. And it almost feels like what's driving this energy, this person, whoever this is, they see what they like, right? They see the value in what it is that they're looking at. And they see some type of success or victory as they look, right? There's something that's drawing them in that has them possibly even mesmerized. This could be someone that can't take their eyes off of you. They've tried, but they just can't, right? There's something about you that keeps them coming back to see what you're doing, how you're doing. And every time they look, you may look better each and every time, more sparkly, shining brighter, right? You may be doing better than you did each time they look, more successful. And there's some strategy, hidden strategy with the energy coming out here. That's what I got, right? The overall energy. So as we look in, I feel like for who I'm talking about, the Empress came out with the Queen of Swords, okay? The Empress with the Queen of Swords. Now, the Empress is actually very beautiful energy, and it feels like you're coming from a place where you've learned the value, right? You've learned something about your value. The Empress is actually a very nurturing energy, has a lot to give, very abundant, very successful, very fruitive with creation. But none of those things could matter if you didn't know what you had, because you would run the risk of having everyone come along and just suck you dry. You know what I mean? And so it feels like they're with the Queen of Swords and the Empress. There's been some learning, possibly around who it is that you are, what you carry, what you have to offer. Yeah, understanding what you hold within and how sacred and valuable that is. That's the energy I'm getting from the Empress. Very pure energy. You could be someone who actually loves hard, right? You want to see people do well. You want to give and meet the needs. You don't like to see people suffering. You want to make things, you want to um, make the pain stop. You want to stop the bleeding. And so the Queen of Swords, however, comes in to clarify this Empress. And the Queen of Swords comes in, she's holding the sword, first of all. That means that she did not come, to talk sweet talk. No, she came to handle business. When we look at the sword is cutting, right? This is cutting truth, right? Down to the marrow and the bone, cutting down to the heart of the situation, right? She did not come to have tea and crumpets, okay? Despite common belief. But the fact that she has clarified the Empress, it's almost like there is this lesson that was learned in the past about not being distracted from yourself, not putting others before you or choosing them over your duty to yourself. Being detached enough to be able to do that, but still being able to operate in love, right? It's called balance. And so the Queen clarifying this Empress is saying that there could be some lessons that you learned around being able to operate very efficiently with the Queen of Swords, right? Not too open, though you have a lot to give, not giving freely, understanding the value of what you have, not too open, but not too closed, right? Just right, right? Very assertive, good boundaries, but also very loving and giving and caring and concerned. And when you learn this, you learn the secret of being able to um, conduct yourself in a way to avoid certain traps and snares that was set up for you. That feels like this is the energy that's operating around you right now, like somebody is trying to set like a something to pull you in possibly. And it almost feels like they feel like if they withdraw, then you will come towards them, right? If they just pull back and cut their supply of love off, that you'll just open up and surrender all. It feels like that. But the lesson was learned. I don't think you're falling for that. I don't think you're falling for it. Now, currently, we have the devil. That's that temptation pulling at you. And then we also have the Seven of Swords again, coming out again, right? This is the overall energy. And so when we look at the devil, we're talking about that energy of wanting to get you caught up, right? That's the whole energy of the devil. It's the energy that wants to bind you. It's the energy that wants to control and to usurp your power and your energy. But here in the present, when we look at the devil, we're looking at energies that come in to tempt you. Energies that come in to tempt you. And these could show up in the form of dealing with things that, when we look at the Seven of Swords and the devil, this could be things that we still show some part of weakness to, or there's still some level of bondage. There's a desire. The Seven of Swords usually is strategy, being able to go after what you want. There's a desire to do something that you feel like you should be doing, but there's still some work to be done here and behind the scenes, or else you might find yourself falling back into a cycle, right? And so in the current, I feel like there's a realization here that there's some work that needs to be done to completely free yourself. Because this is almost like someone showing up and you seeing them for what they are. You're able to see beyond the mask. You're seeing them for what they are, but I wouldn't mind, just having a night. I know what it is, right? I know what it is, but I still, I wouldn't mind having a night on the town or a good little time, right? I already know what I'm getting myself into. I know that this person doesn't have my best intention, but as long as I know what it is, it's okay for us to both just have a good time, right? It's like that kind of energy. So there's something that you are aware of that still pulls you in, and you may give into it knowing that you still need to do the work to freely be released from that. Okay. When we look at the devil, we're talking about things that keep us subjugated and powerless when we surrender to them, right? On one hand, there is this very beautiful sense of being empowered and learning your value. But on the other hand, there's also something in this moment that's very tempting. And you may see it as harmless because you know what it is, and you don't feel like you have the ability to get caught up because you know it is. However, it's almost like one of the things that I have is I love sweets. I was born in a family who baked, who cooked, right? And I love sweets, and I know that that's my weakness. And not only that, I have a sister who bakes with her eyes closed and can bake. She can outbake any restaurant in the city, any bakery in the city with her eyes closed. And every time she bakes something, she'll always bring me some of it, knowing that I'm trying to get my sugars together. I'm trying to leave the sugars behind, but she always seems to save me a piece, right? And I can't, for the life of me, say no. Like on a good day, I can, but meet me on a day where I'm just like, really like, okay, I deserve a reward, right? You can get me easily on that day, and I already know that I have this problem. And then it'll take me like the next 30 days to actually detox my mind from the sugar. Because once you give into it, then you're on this rampage, right? Sugar is like crack for me. It really is. And once I give into it, it's over. Game over. Checkmate, right? I'm eating all kind of stuff that I'm not supposed to be eating because it breeds this craving that you can't say no to. This is like this kind of energy. Like, you know what it is, and you tell yourself, oh, I already know what it is. So there's no getting caught up if you know what you're dealing with. But oh, honey, the devil will make you go further than you want to go and will make you stay longer than you want to stay. Okay. And so there's something here about that, about knowing the path that you want to take. You know where you need to go. You know the fact that you are wanting to be better and to finally get over this thing. But there's some, and it almost feels like playing a game of Russian roulette, right? With this Seven of Swords coming in on the shadow side, it's being attracted like to that old thing that you already know what the result is going to be. I already know when I eat the cake that I'm going to spend the next 30 days, maybe even 60, maybe even 90, trying to say no to sugar because I opened the door and let sugar back in again. It's like that. Like you're too knowledgeable. The Seven of Swords coming in on the shadow side is saying that you're too attached to whatever this old habit is. Whatever this thing has the ability to weaken you and to bind you again. But it's here right now in the present moment, tempting you. Somebody may know what it is that you like. They're here right now in this present moment, and they're tempting you with what it is that you like to pull you back in, to bind you in sorts, right? To possibly weaken you from this resolve that you stand in the past, that you decided, you know what, I'm better than this. I want more than this. My worth is much greater than this, right? You decided that in the past. That doesn't mean that you'll never be tested. That temptation will always be there to go back to that old thing, that old pattern. That's what this Seven of Swords represents, that old thing. Said, I want that old thing back to make these moments once again comfort, right? Somebody might be singing sweet nothings in your ear. Yeah, but there's something that is coming in right now to even disrupt your daily routine that you actually kind of set up for yourself, and it was working. Something is coming in to attempt to knock you off balance. It's tempting. Now, in the future, what I see is the Ten of Wands, clarified by the Six of Swords. And so the Ten of Wands is could be busyness, right? It could be heaviness, carrying something very burdensome, carrying the weight of something. When we look at things from afar off, as we start to plan things, sometimes what we're planning it doesn't seem as big as it is. It doesn't seem as difficult many times as it really is. It doesn't seem as heavy. Just looking at it from a distance or planning it until we actually get to do it, or we arrive at that moment and we realize, wow, okay, this was more than I actually expected. So something in the future here, looking forward, there's something that's going to happen. There's a choice that you're making. And in the future, it's going to cause you to question whether or not you made the right choice. I almost feels like Spirit is bringing this up. And Spirit always brings us to this moment and gives us an opportunity to make conscious decisions, right? And whatever we decide, we get to actually bear the weight of that decision. This is one of those moments, because in the future, there's going to be something that is possibly very heavy. It may possibly be something that you didn't realize is going to take a lot of work to maintain. Many times, even when we look at achieving great things, achieving them is one. Now, maintaining that level, that status, that height, that's a whole different part of the game, right? And it almost feels like that in the future, there's going to be a questioning of whether or not you moved in the right place. Somebody could be considering moving, possibly in order to align with some other expectation or desire that you want. But there's going to be a need to evaluate your decision in the future. I see that you're going to be asking yourself in the future, that decision that you made, if it was actually worth it or not. When you find yourself having to actually do an extra 15, 20 minutes of walking because you ate, right? You were on a sugar rampage, right? I'm talking to myself. You're asking yourself, okay, was that really worth it? Or could I have actually pushed that plate away from my face to save myself this extra weight or this extra effort that I'm having to put in? Something like that. In the future, I'm seeing that you'll be asking yourself, was this really worth it? Was that one time of getting fulfillment and pleasure, was it worth what I'm going through right now? I see you asking that in the future because there's some burden I feel like is not anticipated. It's going to be a bigger burden than you realize, possibly. However, the Ten of Wands also talks about having the strength to carry it. But just because you can carry it doesn't mean that you have to, right? See, that's where wisdom comes in. That's where wisdom comes in. But there's going to be a need to reassess in the future, possibly whether or not something was worth it. Was it worth that 2 minutes of excitement or that 3 hours of fun, right? There's going to be a need to assess something here. And then the Six of Swords is moving away. It's coming in on the light side. There's some confidence that you will find, even if you find yourself in that situation of questioning whether or not this was worth it, you'll still have the resolve within yourself. You'll still have the confidence actually to move away. This may be one of those lessons that we need to experience, right? Sometimes we need to experience it because we need that wisdom under our belt. This may be one of those things for you. But I see you moving away from it. Even if it does end up being something that you question later, you'll have the strength and the stamina and the resources to be able to move away. The Six of Swords could also talk about in the future just overcoming those patterns, right? The Six of Swords is moving away, overcoming. And this journey is all about you also recognizing who's on that journey with you. And not only thinking about yourself, but for someone, you're also having to think about someone else that may be dependent upon you or someone else that may be walking this journey with you as well. This is making decisions that are on behalf of not only you, but also those that you care about. Okay. Yeah. The Six of Cups and the Chariot in reverse on the shadow side. Okay. And so we kind of got a feel of where you are and kind of what's happening right now. And as we look forward, some insight on the type of energy that will fall into. Now, the Six of Cups is the energy that actually tells us that there's going to be a little bit of a struggle. And this struggle is going to be around dealing with things mentally, because the Six of Cups is about memory, something about the past. You may be having a difficult time dealing with something or moving away from something that feels very familiar. It feels comfortable. This Six of Cups is saying that you could be having a difficult time taking a break even and taking care of yourself lately, right now, during this time. This temptation may arise at a time where things feel heavy or things feel challenging and you're having a difficult time, enjoying life right now with the Six of Cups. Usually the Six of Cups is this very free flowing, enjoying the moment. It's a very youthful energy, but it's coming in for you as a struggle. And so you may have a hard time enjoying life right now. Life might be showing up for you very challenging right now. I don't know if someone has had to return back to their hometown or return back to thoughts around things that happened in the past, things that represent your past that's difficult to face. But this says that this is the time to actually allow yourself to be recharged. This is a time to put on some heavy self-care. And the fact that it was clarified by the Chariot in reverse, this is coming in as a struggle. On the shadow side, right? The Chariot represents knowing your power, being unstoppable, moving towards and going after what it is that you want. But when we look at it from the shadow side, this is feeling a bit remorseful or feeling some type of regret about doing that, about some type of past actions that you took. And whatever this is, these memories are coming in and they're hindering in some type of way and keeping that forward movement from happening. This could be having fights with people from your past that are showing up right now. Something is resurfacing and it's challenging. Part of this challenge is what's going on in your mind. I feel like sometimes we give away our power when we don't even have to deal with it, right? We choose to deal with a lot of things that's really unnecessary. And if at any moment we chose to just walk away, because it takes two, right? It takes two to fight, to argue, to tangle. If one refuses, then there is none. There is no conflict. There is no having to make a decision on how you're going to respond or react. You don't even have to engage, But there's something resurfacing here that is possibly causing you to even go back to past types of attitudes that weren't healthy for you. So whatever this is that's coming up, that's triggering in this moment, it's important to think before you act, okay? And not to give in to whatever's coming up, that angry feeling. This could be someone that's purposefully trying to throw sticks, right? And hide in their hands. That right there is frustrating. And you know who it is, right? And so are we supposed to be stupid when I'm seeing you throwing the sticks, right? Right? Some of us hear conversations in rooms that we're not in, but we're supposed to be stupid. And then you come over here and act like you ain't said nothing or you ain't did nothing or you my best friend. I'm gonna need you to go have many seats because ain't nobody stupid. This is not Sally lunch meat hour, okay? But there's something that's going to trigger you like that. Spirit wants you to think before you speak and not give in to the fury that rises up in you. Whatever this is, it's going to prick you like that. It's like a pet peeve, Somebody knows your pet peeve and they're gonna go for the gusto. Okay, they're gonna go for the jugular, whatever this is. And I feel like whoever this is somebody that pretends to be one way when really they're a whole different way when you're not looking. They pretend to be for you when they're really against you when you're not looking. This is a moment that's going to bring that reality up for you. Okay. Because this is all about, as I said, the Seven of Swords. Someone is putting on a facade. They see something that they want from you, possibly. They may want you, right? People want people all the time, but not for the right reasons. Okay. It's one thing to be desired, but it's a whole nother ball game to demand respect. Okay. Some things are just not on our level. We no longer can tolerate, certain things. It becomes like child's play, frustrating. You would expect it from a child, but from a grown person. So when it's all said and done, we have the Six of Wands clarified by the Lovers. Okay. When it's all said and done, I feel like spirit, may in fact be allowing you to experience this. There's something that you may, sometimes we have to have experiences. There's something in that that we need to learn or we need to repeat until we get it. But there's something here that you'll walk away feeling like you are victorious, right? Even if that's defeating yourself, you'll walk away from this moment, whatever's happening here, on top. Yeah, with the Six of Wands. You see how he's highlighted like the star, right? Out of reach. Just lifted up, vibing high, right? And so there's something about that you're going to end up in a place of admiration and respect through this. And it's going to be hard work that you'll put in, but in the message that you'll bring coming out on the other side of this is going to be encouraging for possibly those around you or those watching you, those that have been watching you. Yeah. And so you'll find success and you'll actually receive the respect that you demand. And then we have the Lovers that clarifies this Six of Wands card, and the Lovers is coming out on the light side. This is spirit just letting you know this is you being encouraged, knowing how to love people and how to be loved and how to choose who and what to love. Because again, the Empress is all about love, but the Queen of Swords comes in to balance that. Just because it's abundant doesn't mean we give it to everybody and we just allow it to flow and flow and flow until we become empty. No. And so the Lovers is about balance. It's about you knowing and learning finally how to love and who and what to love is actually the hugest lesson here. This is you evolving into this energy of wisdom, right? Around what it is that you have, around who it is that you are, what you're worthy of. And this is about you understanding the importance and the fundamentals around giving, right? We're talking about energy. We're talking about time. We're talking about giving of your gifts, what you have to offer, what you've been given by the Creator as a blessing to the world, giving of your gifts, right? And only giving to those things, to those people who inspire you to become better, right? And so this is also about you, for some of you, oh, my ear is ringing. For someone, there is some lesson here about overcoming the fear of rejection and becoming your own best cheerleader, your own best support, not looking outside of yourself for what you only need to look within for. Right? We learn very quickly how fickle people can be. Like one day they all for you and it's yeah, yeah, yeah. Next day, right? They never even knew you and wouldn't help you up if you fell down on the ground. But it's not to fault them. That's just people, right? But you learn how to be your own best friend and your own support and to look to your creator and to your higher self and to your spiritual resources for what it is that you need. Because really, in the end, that's all you have anyway. That's all that you're going to be able to take, right? When we leave here, nobody gets to come with us usually. We don't get to take any of these physical things with us. It's just all about what we've cultivated within ourselves that we get to stand on and take. And so this Lover's card is about the balance happening within you. And not being afraid to put yourself out there because you have learned to trust yourself, right? Though it's there, we don't have to partake of every cup that's offered to us. We're able to make those discernments about who's worthy of our energy and our time and of operating within our space. Who's worthy of receiving what we have to give. Just because you're filled with wisdom doesn't mean you offer it to everybody. Not everybody is able to receive what you have to offer. Some people aren't ready. Some people can't even grasp what it is that you have to say. Like it'll go right over their head. It'll be a waste of breath. This is about discernment, okay? That's what I'm hearing today for the encouragement. Thank you so much for stopping by. Now, the overall energy was that there is someone in your energy that is trying to, in many ways, deceive. There's something that they want possibly from you. So be on the lookout, understand your value, understand some of the lessons that you've learned, understand your own limits and your own, temptations and, work that out. Work that out within yourself, okay? Thank you for stopping by. This has been Blood Moon Oracle coming with a message this evening. Until next time, be on guard for whoever this is for. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you have not, and leave a comment if it resonates. Let me know, okay? I'd love to hear. Blood Moon Oracle here, coming with the message of this evening. Until next time.